I keep trying to find the words to say. Oh, when you say, don't worry. I gotta trust that you got me. Hold me together, no worries. No worries, yeah. You say what you say. All I gotta do is listen. 'Cause you're the only one who handles it. Yeah. I've been gone for a while. Faced some troubles in my life. Now I see the other side. I know it's working it out for my good. These things on time ain't no lie. Always holding my head in the middle. Keeping me safe, never let go. I know it's working it out for my good. These things on time ain't no lie. Hey. Hey, y'all, and welcome to episode 2 of Hey God. And I just want to say, hey God, because it's been a week. It's been a weekend. It's been a day yesterday. And I just want y'all to know that I am capital Tired. I'm tired. So we're going to jump right in. Oh, dear God. Hey, God. We thank you for another time to share devotion with you, to be in communion with you and in fellowship with you, God. We thank you for waking us up and giving us the activities of our limbs. We thank you for a mind to be like you. We thank you for a mind to walk like you, to talk like you, to show up like you, God. We thank you for being made in your image, God. We thank you for everything that you have done, but God, most importantly, God, I thank you and I praise you for what you are doing in our lives right now, God. This is a season of being present for me, and so I speak that over everybody else that will be watching, oh God, that this is a season to be present with your presence, with your spirit, with what you're doing now in our lives, oh God. And I just thank you for how you're going to show up in this devotion. I thank you for how you're just going to speak through me and how it's going to touch the lives of those who watch it, oh God. And I just thank you that this podcast, that this YouTube channel is going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow. And it's going to reach those, oh God, who needs to hear you, oh God, who needs to experience your heart, who needs to see your love in action, oh God. And I thank you, oh God, for having such a heart posture to be able to express who you are in my life to those around me, oh God. And I just ask that, God, as I decrease, oh God, that you increase, that everything that may go forth out of my mouth may be by your spirit, and that it may touch other people's spirit. In your son, Jesus' name, amen. Hey, y'all. Hey, so I just got one question, and that's, how did you love yourself this week? Put that down in the comments. Let me know. How did you love yourself this week? For me, I loved myself by just doing this podcast. That's how I love myself. By being obedient to God, by trusting in God, and just knowing that all things work together for my good. So the only thing I need to do is be obedient. And I love myself by doing this podcast. So we are going to jump right into it. So last week we talked about the first fruit of the Spirit, which is love, and we hit on. I left you with a couple things. Was to learn our old beliefs, to believe it and speak it over our lives, or to plant new soil. And I just want to thank God for just reconfirming that it's so important to plant new soil. I was talking with a friend last night after rehearsal, and that's what ended up the conversation being, was to tear down your old system, to tear down your old beliefs, and to plant with new soil. Plant with new soil. And it touched him. It touched me. I was so grateful that I was used by God in that moment, because it was a moment that he needed. And I'm grateful that I was the one that was able to be used in that moment. So God, I thank you for his life, and I ask that you continue to bless him, and you continue to make him whole, and you continue to show yourself mighty in his life. In Jesus' name, amen. So, accepting the knowledge that your love seeds are from God and from God only. Expose your limiting beliefs. Find out what God says about you and his love for you. And most importantly, believe it and speak it over your life. Or again, plant new soil. And then what we do, watch it bloom. But today, guys, we're going to jump from love to joy. And one thing that I realized, and that I wrote down, I got a bunch of notes today, and I'm not using my computer today, but I got a bunch of notes. And one thing about me, y'all, I struggle with doing this podcast, because I just feel like, oh, I have to present in a certain kind of way. I had to look like this. I have to look like that. I just have to present myself in such a way that's, reflective of all the other, followers of the Way podcasts. And I really be like beating myself up, like, oh, I don't sound like her, or I don't sound like him, or it's not this, it's not that, like it sounds like I'm giving a sermon. I don't want to preach to nobody, I just want to share this. I just want to share love. I just want to share God. But this is how I process things. This is how me and God get closer to each other and deeper with each other. And so I just thank God for this. So I'm going to be reading a lot from my notes. So if y'all see me looking down and looking up, I'm going to make sure that I give y'all the appropriate amount of eye contact. But so we are on joy, and oh boy, am I learning and have I been learning about what real joy is. Like, and every time I hear joy, I think of Kirk Franklin when he be like, I just don't want you to be happy, because then you got to have something happening. I want you to have joy, because can't nobody take that away from you. And I've always stuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, joy isn't what's happening. It's what's rooted. It's what's in me. Joy is not what's happening. It's what's in me. It's what's in me. It's what's in me. That's what I tell myself. Joy is what's in me. It's what's in me. It's what's in me. It's not what's happening on the outside, but it's what's in me. And I just always thought of that. So Kirk Franklin, if you out there, speaking of Kirk Franklin, hey, did y'all watch that Father's Day documentary? Baby. Kirk, you hit me with it. I'm letting you know that now. You hit me. That was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Oh my God. And he's dropping the Father's Day album on my birthday. Just know it's up there and stuck there. So from understanding that, joy is, I'm going to read from my notes. Joy is not an emotional reaction, but a belief knowing that God and only God can and will come through on his promises. Whether today or tomorrow, no matter, God will come through on his promises. Joy is unshakable choice. Blah, blah, blah. Joy is unshakable trust. So then joy requires trust. Joy is an unshakable trust. Things are going to happen in life. Storms, ups, downs, lefts, rights, diagonals, crisscross, whatever. I don't know why I talk with my hair a lot. But joy is unshakable trust. James 1:3-4 says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. It is a misconception to think that just because you are a follower of God, a follower of the way, that difficulties won't come. However, any follower of the way, y'all, another thing for me too, I can't stand the word Christian. The Lord is still delivering me, okay? Because I don't like the word. I don't like the negative connotation that comes behind it. When people hear that, they automatically think you're just this disconnected person, and I'm not disconnected. So the Lord is still working on me with using that word. It's either we're gonna have to come up with another way to let us know what we are in God, or God just gonna have to get me comfortable with using that term, because I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't. Okay. That's my business. That's something I gotta work through. If y'all comfortable with using that, y'all can use it. I'm not saying it's wrong overall. I'm just saying my relationship to it, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't. So forgive me if I like pop. I just don't like it. I'm growing though. But anyway, it's a misconception to think that just because we are followers of God, that all of a sudden difficulties are not going to exist anymore. But any believer, any person that loves God, that follows God, that is obedient to God, will tell you that it's almost safe to say that we experience trouble and difficulties more than everybody else, child. Because I'll be like, hold up, didn't we just didn't I just come out of a storm? Why are we going right back into another one? Pause. Can I rest? Can I catch my breath? Can I get some water? Can I get a bite to eat? I'm hungry. I ain't ate in a month. It's been hard. I've been struggling. You know, I've been broke. I've been, fasting. I've been doing. I'm tired. Wait a minute, God. Why are they back to back? Why? What's going on? What's going on? And I live in Michigan, so we experience all 4 seasons. So it's either stupid hot, which it has been stupid hot this year, and I'm grateful. I'm real grateful because I don't like the cold. But then we've been having cold days, and we just had a tornado watch last month or a month before that, whenever it was. Like, we've been having all seasons. All seasons. It's been something. I'm just like, all right, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation, because I know trouble's still gonna come. But my God, why is it coming back to back? Let's slow down. Let's slow down. But we find out in 1 Peter 2:11-23, it lets us know that following God, we should live such good lives among the pagans, that though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day he visits us. Verse 21 that I wanted to point out. To this you were called, because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. Verse 22, he committed no sin, and no deceit was found in his mouth. When they hurled insults at him, he did not retaliate. When he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he entrusted himself to him who judges justly. What an example. Because 1, I don't like for people to lie on me. 2, I don't like for people to place their beliefs onto me, or their perceptions or their feelings onto me. Like, just because you feel a way, don't mean that you can make that or force that be my truth to make your reality, to justify your reality. That's one thing that I can't stand. I can't stand that the most. Like, that really bothers me. That really bothers me a whole lot. And I can think of a lot of times that has happened, and it has definitely, like, you know, made me give the side eye to certain people, family and all. Like, how you just gone? How is everything all peachy keen right now, but just yesterday you were basically accusing me of just having this nasty spirit because you feeling, child. God didn't, Jesus didn't do that. Yeshua. He didn't do that. He committed no sin, and no deceit was found in his mouth. I can't say that for me. I can't. But I have been catching myself. Like I've been really catching myself and like, girl, shut up, because you ain't got nothing nice to say. And that's why I've been shutting my mouth. I've been shutting my mouth. When they hurled insults at him, he did not retaliate. So that's why I've been shutting up. Because if God didn't retaliate and they, you know, saying stuff against him and making their feelings be his reality, you know, he didn't retaliate. It just was. Like, it just was. Who I am and what my intentions are like, they just are. They just are, no matter how you perceive it, no matter how you accept it or don't accept it. This is what I came here to do. I came here to do this thing right here. And that's just what it is. And if you feel some way about it, then that lets you know where you need to grow. Because my intentions are always pure. My intentions are always pure. There's never a moment in my life to where I feel like I would want to get over somebody. Maybe because I was taking advantage of that. I don't want to take advantage of other people, and I thank God for that part of my heart. Like, me and the man of my prayers, you know, we were talking one time because I was like so stressed and I was just going through so much and I was crying and I was just, you know, and like it got to the point, I'm like, I just want you to listen to me. Just to listen. Like, I just want you to acknowledge. I just want you to, like, ain't nobody else out here acknowledging me, acknowledging my say, acknowledging my part in what I do. Ain't nobody in this world is acknowledging me. And when I come to you and have a conversation with you, you doing the same thing they doing. You're not hearing me. You're not acknowledging my feelings. You're not acknowledging my perspective, my standpoint, or whatever. And I'm like, I don't always need you to fix things for me. I just need you to listen to me, whatever. I just need you to hear. I just need you to hear what I'm saying. And it was just like something clicked for him in that moment, and something clicked for me too. But something clicked for him in that moment. So he was like, I'm just never going to be in a space to where I don't have to worry about you. I said no. I said, and me telling you about my day, me telling you how I feel, isn't that you need to worry. Like, you ain't with somebody who just, you know, who has no impact in life. Like, I know what my assignment is. I know you know what I'm saying? God reveals to me daily the people that, or the types or the kinds of people that I'm supposed to reach and I'm supposed to touch or whatever. And that load is heavy. I'm not wanting you to, you know, get rid of the load for me. I just need you to just see me in this, like, see me in this moment or whatever, because they tripping out here. And I just need to vent. Like, I just need to have a safe space. I just need to have a safe space to vent, because they be hurling insults at me. And that stuff hurt. And I need to have somebody to come and talk to and to remind me of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it or whatever, so I don't retaliate. And so when he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he entrusted himself to him who judges justly. I'm learning to entrust myself with God, that I don't have to retaliate, that I don't have to get back at people, that I don't have to, you know, speak my mind when you know, you know what I'm saying, like try to insert your feelings and your perspectives and perceptions on life onto me, because God know my heart. He know what I'm trying to do. But at the same time, it's like, God, if you know what I'm trying to do, why in the world would you let them say stuff like that to me or whatever? And it's just like, they said it to me. And I'm just like, okay. Okay. You right. So this lets us know that amongst unbelievers of the faith or even believers of the faith, that we will suffer false persecution, but we should count it all joy. We should trust that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will see how we suffer for his sake, and our reward will be great. For the Bible says, for those who suffer for Christ will reign with him. And just one thing that I love that God, that I understood, that God made me think about, was joy takes root in trouble, and our faith and trust waters joy, that when his glory is revealed, we take part in his reign or in his harvest. That was so good to me, y'all. Joy takes root in trouble, and our faith and trust waters that seed of joy, that when his glory is revealed, we take part in his reign, or we take part in his harvest. Baby, I was hot. I was like, what? That was like top tier. Like, that was like a top tier. I was like, that makes sense. Joy takes root in trouble. Joy takes root. Joy takes root in trouble. Take time and think about that, like, for yourself. What trouble is going on in your life that joy can take root? What can joy take root in your life? Think on that for a second, because that's deep. Like, think about that right now. Like, that got me, like, even, that got me sitting here thinking right now, like, joy takes root in trouble, and our faith and trust waters joy. Our faith and trust water. Joy takes root in trouble, and our faith and trust in God waters that joy. That's good. However, I do want to reread our main text, but I want to read it in the Message Bible, because the Message Bible hit me, and I hope this will make everything make sense to you all too. It says, James 1, 2-4 in the Message Bible. It says, consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. That's good. What is your faith life like? What is your trust in God like? That's really good. Like, how much do you trust in God? How much do you believe in God? How much faith do you have in God when trouble comes? Because I know for me, I'm going through a really tough moment in my life right now. I don't want to say it's tough, but I just want to, it's a waiting period, and I don't like to wait, because I feel like I'm past certain things. But like, through this moment, like, there are some times where I'm finding out, like, your faith ain't as rooted, or you're not acknowledging the roots that has taken, like, you're not acknowledging the roots that has taken place, or whatever. Or even just when the wind is blowing and your tree is shaking, or whatever, like, you're responding to the wind, however, not paying more attention to the fact that you are rooted, that you ain't going nowhere. Like, you're rooted at this point. I feel like now that I'm rooted at this point, and I was responding to the wind more than I was reminding myself of the fact that I was rooted and that I'm not going anywhere, and that if anything falls off my tree while the wind is shaking or whatever, then it was supposed to come off. It was supposed to come off. Whatever, like, so let it fall off. Let it die off. Whatever. But I want to keep reading. So don't try, so consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try to get out of anything prematurely. Let it do its work so you become mature and well-developed, not deficient in any way. Oh, don't that just hit a little bit differently from consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. It's just something different about that Message Bible that hits home. The Message Bible, I like how Sarah said, or somebody said, that's the hood Bible. Because it is. I understand the Message Bible just a little bit better. It makes me understand the King James Version, because I be clueless sometimes with those thous, then, all that stuff. Most times, I know, at least for me, I'm used to getting discouraged when everything was falling apart. I had the mentality of, God, what have I done wrong? Like, what have I done wrong? Like, I've been praying, I've been reading my word, I've been going to church, I've been, connecting with you more, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? What is up? Like, what have I been doing wrong? But throughout my life, throughout this particular walk that I've started with God, He has been shifting my mindset. And it was when I was at a friend of mine's book signing party, book signing event, and she was just like, somebody had told her, she was just like, because she was trying to figure out if she wanted to go on tour, and she was like, what if something, like, what if it goes wrong? What if it's this? Like, always thinking negative or whatever, not believing, not trusting in herself or trusting in what she have accomplished so far. And she was saying that either she thought or the woman told her, but what if it could go right? And at that moment, I was like, that is good. What if it could go right? What if it went right? And so at that moment, I began to have like a perspective switch. It didn't happen like right away. Like, I wasn't just like, oh, I'm thinking positively. Like, no, it was some work that needed to be done, because my default settings were, what if it could go wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? But God shifted my perspective to, what have I done right? What have I done right that God has seen something in my faith up to this point that He decided to trust me with a certain measure of glory to be revealed after the storm clears. That is good. Do you hear me? God, what have I done right that you have seen something in my faith up to this point that you decided to trust me with a certain measure of glory to be revealed after the storm clears? God, what have I done right? What prayer have I prayed? What how much faith did I have? Who did I encourage? Who did I, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did I serve? What did I do right that you were so gracious to allow me to experience your glory? And so I realized at that point, just now, like, stop focusing on the storm so much, because storms come. Like be prepared for the storm, because he lets us know that the storm is coming. The storm is coming. You're going to experience those things. but be rooted and be grounded in who God is and what he provides for us in those moments. Like, always have your ear open to hear what thus saith the Lord, because he will prepare you for what's to come. He's not the type of God to leave us in the dark. He's not the kind of God to leave us in the dark. He's not the kind of God to leave us unprepared. If we are unprepared for a storm, that's because we did not listen to what he was trying to say. We were too busy. Either we were too busy focusing on other stuff, or we were too busy focusing on the storm. But when we focus on the one who can calm the seas, and we'll talk about that next week when we talk about peace. But when we focus on the God that can calm the seas, that even the winds and what they say, the winds and the storm, whatever, that the winds and the seas obey. Like, when we focus on the God that even the wind and the seas obeys, we begin to look at storms differently. I know I've been able to look at storms differently. Do I sometimes forget, or you know what I'm saying? I'm like, absolutely, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. Give yourself grace. I was listening to somebody, or it was at prayer one Saturday morning, or at service, however, but they were saying that God gives us a grace to rebuild too. He give us a grace to tear down, and he also give us a grace to rebuild. So he doesn't seek perfection from us. And that's so beautiful about God, that he doesn't seek perfection from us, but he seek us to be obedient. He seek us to trust, you know what I'm saying? He expect us to trust him. He expect us to have faith in him, because only him can bring us so far. And I was telling my friend last night, and I was just letting him know, and I was just like, where you want to go in your healing, where you want to go in life, you don't know how to get there. So the only person that could lead you there is God. So we have to be able to trust him, that we know that all things work together for the good. Like Romans 8:28 comforts us, saying that, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And so that is why it's so important to die to ourselves daily, because the agenda of God produces more results than our own. Period. The agenda of God produces more results than our own, results that are lasting, encouraging, and comforting. So we just have to remember that every self-afflicted storm, or every God-inflicted storm, God uses it for our good, no matter what. Like, no matter what. So how to unlearn these old beliefs? We gotta first shift from, what did I do wrong? I hope I said something throughout this, we have 33 minutes now, that has, really pricked something in your heart. So we're going to close this out by going over some points. So how to learn old beliefs. First, we got to shift from what did I do wrong to what am I doing right. We got to shift from what did I do wrong to what am I doing right. Test comes as certain heart postures. You may be thinking you're doing something for one reason, but only God knows the heart. And I think going back from last episode, when I was like a people pleaser, on the outside, it looked one way. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I was doing that. Ew. Like, when I look back, I'm like, oh my God. But God knew in my heart that I just wanted to be loved. God knew in my heart that I just wanted somebody to care for me, which is why it was so important for him to snatch me up out of what I was doing. So therefore, I won't taint the heart that he has given me. I thank God for my heart, but he had to snatch me out of the everyday steps that I was taking and put me on a different path to take new steps, because the intentions were there. However, the execution wasn't giving. So only God knows our heart. He knows when you're ready to grow. He knows when you need to rest, when he needs to set fire underneath you to get you going, and to get you moving. So just remember James 1:5-8, the Message version. If you don't know what you are doing, pray to the Father. He loves to help. You will get this help. It won't be condescended to when you ask for it. Ask boldly, believing without a second thought. People who worry their prayers are like wind-whipped waves. Don't think you're going to get anything from the Master that way. Adrift at sea, keeping all your options open. That's deep. That's deep. We can't keep our options open. When we in storms, like, oh, I need to keep his number, or I need to keep her number, because if this falls through, then I know I'm able to call him. But at what cost? At what cost? I remember I was getting ready to go somewhere for my birthday, and I needed my hair done, and something didn't happen. But I knew I could count on this one dude to, get my hair done. But I was so conflicted in my spirit. Like, everything in my spirit was like, don't you do it. Don't take his money. Don't meet up with him, because you know that this money comes at a price. And you know that that's not what you want, or whatever. And I was just like, that's not what I want. Like, I don't want to have to owe anybody in this kind of way. So every chance we had to meet up so he can give it to me, or even send it to me via Cash App, like Cash App wasn't working, or whatever, meeting up wasn't, what I'm saying? We kept missing each other. He would come to where I, come into town, and, I'll be, in his town, or vice versa. It was just so much. I'm just like, God, I just need my haircut. That's all I need. I leave for my birthday trip. What's going on? Like, he was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I was just like, oh my God. And I'm so grateful that I didn't. Because that's just not who I was. Like, I'm not that type of person that only go after men for their money or whatever, like, and that like uses them. Like, that's just not who I am. Like, I'm not that type of person, like, at all. And like, that just would have went against everything that I am, everything that I, prided myself in being, or whatever. So God was just keeping me in line with the standards that I already set for my life. Don't do it. And lo and behold, God ended up coming through. And I was grateful for that. And so, but I love how verse 8 in the New International Version says, such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. If you can't set your mind on one option, and that option being God, without straying to your default settings, because you can't trust, you're double-minded and unstable in all of your ways and all the things that you do. So let's trust God at all times. Shift from what did I do wrong to what am I doing right. Number 2, stay connected to the source. John 15, I'm going to go through this because we're approaching 45 minutes and that's all I want to give. I may go a little bit over that, but that's okay. Point 2, stay connected to the source. John 15, 4-5. Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. It's easy to revert back to your default settings when in crisis, but where there's a crisis, there is a Christ. There is Christ. And he has made all things new. So remember that. Stay connected to the source. Stay connected to the source. Number 3, watch what you say, or rejoice. Rejoice in the storms. Rejoice in the storms. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And James also tells us not to try to get out of it early. Don't try to leave your storm early. Don't complain. Don't woe is me. Instead, rejoice and thank God. Nehemiah 8:10. Go and enjoy choice food and sweet drinks, and send some to those who have nothing. Prepare. This day is holy to our Lord. Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. The joy of the Lord is your strength. God finds joy when his people fellowship together. God finds joy when he sees us sacrificing our blessings to give to other people who have nothing. God shows joy. God showed joy in just sacrificing, period, or just fellowshipping with other people, period, or when a sinner repents. That's what God finds joy in. And sometimes what we find joy in doesn't bring us strength, but it brings us self-gratification, and we think that gives us strength, but it doesn't. Our strength comes from God's joy, and it really does my heart good when something I've said uplifted somebody because they saw the guy. Like just recently, it was this guy I used to work with. He texted me. He wrote me on Facebook, and he was like, "Hey, Khadijah, are you still in Kalamazoo? Like I've really been, thinking about going back to church, or whatever. Like your post about God are so inspiring." And I was just like, that's nobody but God. That's the joy of the Lord. Like that's the joy of the Lord. And that gave me so much strength to just get up and keep pushing. Like people don't know how hard it is for me to do what I do, for me to like post these podcasts, and for me to just be like, it's not hard, but it's hard, especially around the storms. But it don't have to be, but it is. But on some days it's a little difficult or whatever. And that right there, God's glory being revealed in my life to bring light to somebody else, that gave me so much joy. That gave me so much strength that I was able to take the overflow that I didn't even know was overflow, but that I was able to take the overflow of my peace, of my love, of my joy, or whatever, and post it on social media that somebody else was able to consume, to then come back to God, to then say, like, I want to give God a try again. Like I've been missing in action with God, but I want to go back and I want to give God a try again. Like that brought me so much strength to keep loving God, to keep doing what I'm doing, because somebody is watching or whatever. Like everybody is assigned certain types of people. Everybody has an assignment, and you're meant to reach certain people. And so I'm realizing that I don't have to worry of who's going to accept what I say, who's going to support me, who's going to do this, because the people I am supposed to reach, that is who I'm supposed to reach. Some people like Lawry's, some people like the Walmart brand of seasonings. Some people like McCormick. Some people like, a different. Everybody likes their food seasoned a different way. And God has granted all of his children to cook with certain type of seasonings, with certain levels of seasonings. So therefore it may be tasteful to the people that's meant to eat it. And I just thank God for that. I've always said that when I was younger. Like, everybody season their food a different way. There is a market for everybody, literally. Like, there is a market for everybody. So rejoice. Watch what you say. Don't woe is me. Don't complain, but rejoice and share. Share with other people. Share. Share with people that have nothing. And last but not least, have a storage of victories to remember. Philippians 4:6-9. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. So have a storage of victories to remember. Some days memories are going to be the only thing that you have to go off of, because God is going to be silent. He ain't going to be talking to you. So you just got to remember, God, you did this for me. Like the God that paid my bills, the God that kept the tow truck from coming to take my car, the God that extended this bill for me, the God that kept me afloat when I just wanted to die, when I just wanted to drown. Whatever it is that God has done for you previously, those are going to be the things that you have to remember when he's quiet. He ain't gone. He's still there. But there's no sense of asking directions in a storm because you can't see. I remember T.D. Jakes said that. You can't really see what's going on in a storm. You don't know if you're going north, south, east, or west, left, right, up, and down. You don't know where you're going. So to ask for directions, just be patient. Just be still. Just wait. And then in retrospect, you're able to look back and say, or then now you're able to hear God and be like, okay, where do I go now? Do I clean this up or do I walk away? Then you ask those questions. But in the storms, have a storage of victories to remember. Have a storage of victories to remember. Think on those things. Whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is noble, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, whatever is true. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. Y'all, I love you so much. And I just love God so much that I had the energy to get up, because I didn't get back to like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I wanted to record last night or even like the day before. But y'all, it's so much that was going on. But I just thank God that I was able to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and record this for y'all and to share with y'all the joy of the Lord. Like God's joy. Just remember, you got to be rooted. Let your joy be rooted. Let me find that again. Let your joy be rooted. I don't even know where it said, y'all. Oh, there we go. Joy takes root in trouble. Let your joy take root in trouble. And let your faith and trust water that joy. Let your faith and trust water that joy. Let your faith and trust water that joy. God, we thank you. We thank you for being all-knowing, all-seeing, oh God. We thank you for being everywhere and everywhere all the time, attending to the needs of all of your children. We thank you for knowing our needs before we ask for them, oh God. But we also thank you for the time that you get to humanize us, that you get to let us know that we are your child. We thank you for your joy that is our strength, oh God. We thank you just for this time of fellowship and hearing your spirit and hearing your love and your word, oh God. Lord, we ask that the people who listen to this, God, that they take this and they're able to apply it to their life, that you're able to prick their heart, that you're able to stir up the gift that you have placed in them, that they're able to, oh God, serve you wholeheartedly, oh God. Lord, I ask that you allow joy to take root in your people, and let our faith and trust water that joy, oh God, that we may look to you for whatever it is that we need, that we may know that though we are faced with troubles and trials and tribulations and storms and tests, that it's only come to make us stronger, that it only comes to let our faith be more rooted in who you are in our lives, that our faith and our trust is put on display so that people can see that we can struggle and that we can have tests and that we can have storms, but we can still serve you. We can still trust you. We can still have high spirits, that we can still be sweet in the things that we say, that we can still love even when things aren't going right, that we can still trust even when things aren't going right, that we can still be grateful even when things aren't going right, oh God. So Lord, I ask, oh God, that you continue to give me the words, that you continue to shine your light through me, that men may see your good works and glorify you, oh God, as you sit in heaven, oh God. And we thank you for not only being a God, oh God, that sits in heavens, but you come and comfort us, that you are a comforter, oh God, that you are a way maker, oh God, that you're a God of peace and you're a God of love and you're a God of triumph, oh God. And we thank you for already going before us, oh God, and that we're able to just walk through our battles and walk through our trials and walk through our troubles, oh God, with you by our side, knowing that you have already went before us and that the battle is already fixed, that the victory is already ours, oh God. And we thank you for this new plane, oh God, this new plane of land to grow on, oh God. And I just thank you for this feeling, oh God, of victory, this feeling, oh God, of bigger, oh God, and what's to come, oh God. And we thank you and we know, oh God, and I pray that this podcast and this YouTube channel just grows, oh God, grows when you need it to, in my obedience to you, oh God. And I love you and I appreciate you and I adore you and I thank you for who you are in our lives. Touch all of those who listens, oh God, that they may love you even more, or they may learn to love you. In your son Jesus' name, we're going to have joy. We're not going to just be happy, because then, like Kirk says, then something has to be happening. But we have joy because can't nobody take that away from us. And God, we love you. We adore you. We appreciate you. And we say, have a good day. And I will see y'all next week. And we will be talking about peace. So peace. Y'all have a good one.